The Lion Whisperer. How one man is using his unusual bond with these fearsome creatures to save them from their most dangerous predator, us. By Susan Orlean. One recent morning, Kevin Richardson hugged a lion, then turned to check his phone. The lion, a 400-pound male with paws the size of dinner plates, leaned against Richardson's shoulder. A few feet away, a lioness yawned and stretched. She swatted at Richardson's thigh. The male lion began gnawing on Richardson's head. This was the scene unfolding on a grassy plain in a northeast corner of South Africa, where Richardson runs a sanctuary for lions and other animals born and raised in captivity. If you had been there, you might understand why so many people place bets on when Richardson will be eaten alive. Human-shaped lion. It is clear, however, that Richardson's lions do not plan to eat him. They snuggle up to him as lazy as house cats. They nap in a pile with him. They aren't tame, but they seem to have accepted him as if he were an odd, furless, human-shaped lion. Richardson, a bright-eyed, energetic father of 2 young children, is famous for his unusual bond with wild cats. The most popular YouTube video of Richardson with his lions has been viewed more than 25 million times. The first time I saw one of his videos, I was transfixed. After all, our instincts tell us not to cozy up with such dangerous animals. When someone defies that instinct, it seizes our attention like a tightrope walker without a net. Richardson, whose nickname is the Lion Whisperer, discovered his love of big cats in an unexpected way. Just after college, he was working as a trainer in a gym. One of his clients, Rodney Furr, had recently bought a tourist attraction called Lion Park outside Johannesburg. He invited Richardson to come for a visit. The visit changed Richardson's life forever. The lions mesmerized him, especially those at Cub World, where visitors could hold and pet lion cubs. Richardson discovered he could relate to the lions in a way that no one else could. He played with the cubs as if he were another lion, tumbling and wrestling and nuzzling. He got bitten and clawed and knocked over, but he felt the animals accepted him. He became most attached to 2 sets of cubs, Tao and Napoleon, and Meg and Amy. Soon he was spending so much time at Lion Park that Furr gave him a job. What Richardson did not understand was that petting farms like Cub World, while very popular, have a dark side. Sad fate. Once cubs are too big and strong to be cuddled at around 6 months, they often graduate to the lion walk, where, for a fee, visitors can stroll beside them in the open. By the time lions are 2 years old, though, they are far too dangerous for such interactions. So very quickly, there are far more adult lions than there is room in a park. These lions cannot be released into the wild. Born and raised in captivity, they often cannot survive on their own. And even if they could, there is nowhere for them to go. South Africa's wild lions are kept in national parks, where they are carefully monitored to make sure they have enough space to roam and food to hunt. Each park has as many lions as it can handle. So what happens to the lions from petting farms? Some end up in zoos and circuses. Others are sent to Asia, where their bones are used in folk medicine. Many are sold to lion breeders, where they are used to produce more cubs. The rest end up as trophies in what are known as canned hunts, in which lions are placed in fenced-in areas and sometimes sedated to make them easier targets. Up to 1,000 lions are killed in these types of hunts every year. In South Africa, such hunts bring in nearly $100 million a year. The hunters come from all over the world, but most are from the United States. At first, Richardson didn't think about what became of the lions that had aged out of petting and walking. Then one day, he learned that Meg and Amy had been sold to a breeding farm. Richardson raced to retrieve them and was shocked by what he saw: a vast sea of lionesses in overcrowded corrals. Richardson realized he was part of a cycle that was dooming endless numbers of animals. A sanctuary. In 2005, and with Furr's approval, Richardson created a sanctuary for 32 lions, including Meg and Amy and Tao and Napoleon, 15 hyenas, and 4 black leopards from Lion Park. The animals now live on farmland next to the Dino King Game Reserve, the largest wildlife preserve in the Johannesburg area. They live in simple, spacious enclosures so they can't wander into Dino King, where they might mix with the wild lions. In spite of their social nature, lions are very territorial. Fighting among rival prides is one of the leading causes of death. Richardson tries to make up for that by taking them out in the park frequently, letting them roam under his supervision. In a way, I'm a glorified jailer, he says, but I try to give them the best quality of life they can possibly have. One morning, we took 2 lions, Gabby and Bobcat, for a walk. As soon as they saw Richardson's truck, they crowded up to the fence, pacing and panting. The air pulsed with the tangy scent of their sweat. "Hello, my boy," Richardson said, ruffling Bobcat's mane. Bobcat shifted just enough to allow Richardson room to sit. Gabby flung herself on Richardson, wrapping her massive front legs around his shoulders. He tussled with her for a moment, then he checked an app on his phone to see where Dino King's 8 wild lions were. Each of the wild lions wears a radio collar that transmits its location. The lions show up as little red dots on a map. After setting a course that avoided the wild lions, Richardson loaded Gabby and Bobcat into a trailer and we headed out. At a clearing, we rolled to a stop. Richardson climbed out and opened the trailer. The lions jumped down, landing without a sound. I asked why they don't just take off once they are loose in the park. "Probably because they know where they get food, and just out of habit," Richardson said. Then he grinned and added, "I'd like to think it's also because they love me." Gabby and Bobcat moved quickly, confidently, and for a moment it looked as if they were on their own, lording over the landscape. It was a beautiful illusion, because even if they ran off, they would soon come to the fenced perimeter of the park. Those fences are not present just here in Dino King. All of South Africa's wilderness areas, like many throughout Africa, are fenced in. Keeping wild lions wild. Today, Richardson's goal is to keep wild lions wild. He believes that helping people appreciate lions will inspire them to support the protection of lions. He imagines a world in which humans do not interfere with wild animals at all, where cub petting and canned hunting do not exist. In such a world, lions would have enough space to be free, and places like his sanctuary wouldn't be necessary.